Welcome back.
We're back.
This is the second video.
Second video, yes.
I had a great introduction for the other one, but
It sucked.
it sucked. No. My computer couldn't handle the video thing, so if you have a iMac you want to donate, thank you. Today we've got... thank you, Hauser. Yes, that's beautiful.
Introduce yourself.
Kisses you.
Jason Rice.
A new fellow craft.
Very new. How new?
He's still smoking.
Still smoking. Fellow craft today.
And we got some turds here in the audience. I wish the camera panned. Pull your pants up, man.
Oh, you
don't want to see this? Okay, so what's been going on? Got to sit in on our first temple board meeting.
How did that go?
It went.
It went.
It went.
All right, tell me a little bit about that. I wasn't there for it.
I got to meet a couple of members of the Eastern Star, of course, and then some other people that I see all the time anyway, and just talking about the basic decay of the building and how we need to, shit or get off the pot. I mean,
And there it is.
there it is.
You said it.
It is what it is. You've got something that's what? How old is this? Over 100 years old?
Over 100 years old.
And we don't have the 12 appendant bodies that we used to have that would help offset some of the cost. I think we're down to, what, 4?
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Hauser.
Get it.
We're down 4 appendant bodies. The membership's dying. And it's really a shame. It's indicative of what masonry is becoming around this area.
So as the building goes, so do we.
Yes.
Basically. All right?
Yeah.
What? You're more of a newer person. When you first walked in here, in the lodge, did you join because of the building or in spite of the building? Basically, you walk around and go, this is a place that, basically you walk into some of these old churches or whatever, and you go, good grief, this is phenomenal. You're so enthralled with the building and everything about it, and the ornaments and everything about it. You'd be like, you're drawn to it. Were you drawn to this, or were you like, well, the people are better than the building is?
Well, I was going to say, kind of mixed emotions with it, really. You join...
Can you look into the camera?
you join a group to be part of the group, not part of the building that it has become. But I did notice, there's a lot of history, there's a lot of historical value, but also, the group is what makes the building what it is. I definitely did not come because I noticed the building. I came because I noticed the people.
So it's kind of like that old adage, you don't date a girl because she is fat, you date her for the personality.
Correct. Absolutely.
I'm waiting.
You go for what's inside. You go for what the inside is,
Wow. Tip your waitresses. I'll be here all night.
Wow.
No, so
What are you laughing at, Castle?
so here's my thought
You got a big girl
process.
for a wife? No. Why not? You don't like fat people? What's up? You trying to say something? You people. What's that mean?
Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean? I mean, people.
So, but basically, I guess the thought process is so you come in and you see a building that's collapsing around you. You kind of, if you don't really know the people that well, you put the building off on them because what kind of person would be in a building like that?
Right. Especially a fraternity that's been around as long as it has.
Yeah.
And let it kind of fold in on itself.
Yeah, so you
and it does look, it could possibly put an image on the people of the fraternity as well.
Yeah, so it's a negative impact. Basically, you walk in, until you really know them, you go, it's nothing they can do, because we're probably $1 million away from making this anything worthwhile.
What is it on the initial application to join? There's a section about being a burden upon the brothers. That's what this building is. It's a burden. It wouldn't even pass the membership application. If it wanted to join for membership, sorry, you're a burden. Sorry. No.
Nope. You're a burden.
None.
So there it is. So we're back to what we talked about last week. Scrap it, move forward.
Yeah, there's some forward progress. I haven't heard anything else.
Well, what were the? Like I said, I guess it's not a confidential meeting. What was discussed? What were the pros and cons of it? And what are the things that people who didn't go to the meeting, who are not actively in the lodge, what what's the pros and cons from the people who were at the meeting? Easy for you to say.
Yeah. Without really getting in and throwing anybody under the bus.
No, I don't have to. Just pros and cons.
The appendant bodies that were there, it was sort of split. We have a group, the Eastern Star, great group of people. I finally got to meet them, and I got to see their viewpoint because I got tired of hearing a third-person point of view. Oh, well, this is what that person said. Well, no, I want to know what they said. So that's why I went to the meeting. And I got to meet them on. Tell you what, I thought it was productive. And when they told me their concerns about, when they meet on Fridays, they don't have any parking. Sometimes the elevator works, sometimes
See,
it doesn't.
I heard that too about the, and you don't really think about it, but this lodge being downtown and our parking is hooked up to the rest of the downtown district, basically. As soon as I heard that, somebody said that this weekend to me. I said, well, one of the concerns they had was parking. I said, yeah, I would never thought that. You're right.
And the city of Hagerstown was so gracious to finally fix the elevator that had been broken.
Yeah, good for Hagerstown.
Thanks,
Yeah, Hagerstown.
Good thing we're not the Suns.
We could get a new elevator.
Yeah, we might get a new elevator.
Way different location.
Yeah. Winchester's offered us a new elevator, guys. We're going to step up on it. We need handicap, accessibility, and a dumbwaiter. Yeah,
What'd you call me?
A dumbwaiter. Yeah, so I got to see the viewpoints of the Star. There were a couple of viewpoints that were hotly contested between two other members, and yeah. If one were to research the history and go through the meeting and minutes of, say, pre-1988 and a couple years after 88 and 2000 to 2004-ish, we had an all-purpose building. We had a couple of different lodges meeting in this building. We had, 12 appendant bodies is what I heard tonight? If we still had those appendant bodies here, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Things happened. History happened.
Well, the building's dying because there's nobody here.
Exactly.
So
things happened back then, and people left. And it goes back to the thing, united we stand, divided we fall. So, and that's a sad ideal, but Masonry, we should all be working together for one common goal, and
which kind of gets back to the thing from last week's. If we were able to merge all the lodges together and get all the appendant bodies into one spot from Washington County, everybody would be the best core group of people. Seriously, you get all these different lodges pulled together, the York Rites, Scottish Rites of Washington County, the whole thing under one roof. Right now you got people, I know the Sierra Unit.
Yeah,
the Sierra Unit,
the AMVETs,
Yeah, the Sierra Unit, we meet at the American Legion. We have Washington County Scottish Rite Club. We're meeting at where did we meet last time?
Western Sizzlin.
Western Sizzlin. Great places, but why aren't we all staying under one roof? We're all spread out all over the place.
It's like we've got keys. We've got a full-service kitchen downstairs. We even got an ice maker finally.
An ice maker.
Into the 21st century.
Look at that. We'll have internet for too long.
But, and we're going to dive into that here in a little bit more. Anything personal to report? No? Still alive? That's great. At least you didn't eat your pickings from your nose, Hauser.
Those are slim pickings.
It's slim pickings.
Bitch. It's like the Jerry Seinfeld.
No pick! No pick!
Today we're going to get into a little bit of education, servant leadership. I think it ties in really well with Masonry when it comes down to everybody helping out for one goal, one cause.
Okay, let me ask you. We went over this a minute ago. The servant leadership. You and I have been in the exact same amount of time. You said it ties in with Masonry. What have you seen through all the appendant bodies through the Scottish Rite? Have you seen it how it's supposed to be versus how it should be, or do you think it's? What do you think? Half and half.
Blue Lodge, Scottish Rite. It's more like a do as I say. Someone higher up says to do something, and that's what gets done. Whereas more towards the shrine, it's that you're ready. Great, that sounds great. Everybody has a say.
Now, I'm wondering if it's because of Scottish Rite, some other places where we have smaller groups, somebody's got to take charge and actually be in charge of it. Say, look, it's got to be this way because no one's around doing stuff. And there's not really a lot of input put in because of the smaller groups. I'm not sure.
It might be. I mean, we had 3 or 4 of us working on the Ashlar over there, and this was what we did, servant leadership.
Yeah.
We had no established leader. If there was an idea presented, everybody said yay or nay, and if the majority had it, it went. And it was very easy. There were no pissing contests.
And the only rules were that
you have to be here to have a vote.
I think if whoever does work, whoever's there working, they're doing the right thing.
And that's exactly what servant leadership is based on.
If you're there, you're not making the wrong choice. So if you come in, I didn't want that bar there. Well, you should have been here. It's now here. So if you're doing the job, you can do no wrong.
What I'm going to do, you can't see this, and I haven't figured out how to overlay the video to the PowerPoint presentation.
Because he's not that good.
Because I'm not that good. So there's going to be a link to the PowerPoint if you're interested. This has to do from my gaming community, servant leadership. Yes, nerd. Big time nerd. But they've got it pegged. Leader, you have 6 different leadership styles. You have the charismatic leader, and you think about Oprah Winfrey.
You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
You've got the innovative style leader, which
I
is
prefer to think of Ellen DeGeneres, but go ahead.
the innovative leader, which is like a Richard Branson. Command and control, they kind of labeled that as Tom Coughlin. Coughlin. Whatever. Controversial head coach.
Sports guy he is.
Stern taskmaster and disciplinarian. You were good with this one.
The laissez-faire.
Might as well call it lazy fair.
The laissez-faire.
Number 5 was the pace setter, Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, who kind of he started with something and he just took off and ran with it. And then the servant style leadership, Herb Keller, co-founder and former CEO of Southwest Airlines, famously said, "The business of business is people." Why is servant leadership successful? Well, it shares leadership, values people, develops people, builds a community, it displays authenticity, and provides leadership. And all that together, you get a healthy organization.
You know what I think is a common theme in all this? I know I'm off screen. It's people that want to be there, that have a desire to be there, that have a desire to serve, that want to give something back. And in any relationship, it's about what you get in return is also with what you give. So they see the value of, hey, I'm going to give this and get this in return. Just like the Ashlar, we knew that if we were going to give all this work, we were going to get this place to hang out and get everything is this for that. I mean, that's how humans think. It's this for that. Mm-hmm. You're not going to show up for nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Hauser. Yeah!
We should have started with the slow clap. Realize servant leadership can be summed up in 3 words. Selfless, not selfish. Pay attention, politicians. You might learn something. Being a selfless leader, not selfish. Servant leadership begins with the desire to serve. Selflessness. Universal recognition of the importance of serving others can be found in many areas.
The old super feces.
Serving others is not just something we do, it's the way in which we do it. And then basically here's the structure, and you'll see it. It's I don't know what slide it is. Power-based leadership, making people do things. There's a hierarchy. People are grabbing. Power is a goal. Focus on personal credit. Creating dependency for others to depend on you. And the patriarch. Whereas your service-based leadership, you're helping people do things. Anybody can serve as a leader. You're giving. People are going to use power as a tool. Focus on the goal, empowering your people so that they're not dependent on you. And creating partnerships. The servant leader. The servant leader is a servant first. It begins with a natural feeling that one wants to serve first. The conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. The person is sharply different from one who is a leader first. The leader first and the servant first are two extreme types. So you're thinking of, I want it now, do it now, it's mine, versus what can we do to help? So you're talking about either leading from the front, which is what a servant leader does, or you lead from the back.
And there it is!
Leading from the back.
Someone
of
that's
leading
like,
from the
yeah,
back.
go ahead and shoot that guy down. Oh, you're fine. 7 key practices.
You like
Self-awareness,
that? I do like
listening, dealing with the pyramid, developing your colleagues.
What's this
coaching-
dealing with the pyramid?
We'll find out.
Okay.
Coaching and not controlling, unleashing the energy and intelligence of others, and foresight. Self-awareness is just that, knowing what your own weaknesses and strengths are. Emotional intelligence.
Man's got to know his limitations.
Listening. And there's two different types of listening. You can listen and just hear someone, or you can be an active listener and actively engage the person.
You don't hear Jimi Hendrix.
You listen. Coaching, not controlling. It's when there's an issue, you're not trying to say, well, this is how you do it. You coach them. You help them better themselves. You don't tell them what they did wrong. Unleashing the energy and intelligence of others. Can we create an environment where people are encouraged to use their energies and intelligence?
I still don't know about this pyramid.
It didn't come up. I don't understand. People are the biggest assets most organizations have. So not using that asset is wasteful. We're only as good as our people, folks. Foresight. A good chess player looks 5 moves ahead. Foresight. He knows what's going to happen. You can apply that here, especially at Lodge. Well, we already know what's going to happen. The building's going to fall down. We're trying to fix that.
Or you can have foresight like this. And when it happens, didn't see that coming at all.
Well, we tried to say in the temple board meeting was to think of this as your family. And in your family, when you want to move to a different house or upgrade, you want to move when your finances are in order and you have the best opportunity. Well, we feel that this is the best opportunity, both financially speaking as well as motivationally with the people we have, to move into a new house and to take this thing on to the next leg.
I like that. I like where that went.
Some of the things to remember here. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. You've got to love them anyway.
Why is Spock there?
Because he's illogical.
Because he's logical.
Spock showed up
If
to
you
work.
do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you're successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. It's like being a bandwagon, how everybody's all of a sudden a Cowboys fan because they're 6-1. We'll be 7-1 after they beat the Skins tonight, right?
I don't know, that's in the next room.
The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. It's true.
Do it anyway.
Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway.
I want to be Frank.
You can be frank.
You can be Frank.
Frank sounds cool.
Frank Hauser, ladies and gentlemen.
Which was my grandfather's name.
Awesome.
That's cool. Moving on. In summary, servant leadership is ethical, practical, and meaningful. Serving others is not just something you do, it's what life is about. Be a servant leader. And, of course, it goes on about the gaming community. Make tall, continued success. I'd like to thank the Art of War for allowing me to use this PowerPoint. Hopefully,
I feel like I just been at an Amway convention.
you are. Thank you for your money. But, I mean, it's just...
I can't do that.
It's just one of those things. It's going to
can't
help
rock
us
out
be a
with
better
this
leader
lockout.
Well, see, I
because
can-
we utilize our biggest asset, which are people.
I can see that. I can see how this would relate back to the lodge. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, it's group first.
I saw a lot of Shriner things in here about being selfless and doing what you have to do.
Well, I think that's one of the things you talk about Shriner, and I think that's one of those things that those guys all want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They're put themselves in a position that they want to be in. Just like when I was in college, I hated doing my prerequisites. I hated it. But when you get into what you want to study, when you get into what motivates you, you get this different energy and empowerment to succeed at that.
What, sobriety?
And what were you talking about? How you said earlier how a good idea can be brought down by a bad thought or something like that. What was it you said?
What is it? The best ideas can be brought down. The biggest and best ideas can be brought down by the smallest of people.
Yeah. So you walk in a room, motivated. Hey guys, we're gonna put the Ashler together. We're gonna call it the Ashler. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Good luck.
And that's we saw that. We got that pushback.
I want to
And-
touch on the pyramid
Hey,
part. I have an input.
You touch on me.
I have an input on the pyramid.
Yeah, the pyramid thing. What's the thing? Yeah.
wasn't on there, I don't know.
My sight behind that would be when you
Budget
talk
cuts?
about the pyramid, you can't have the top without the bottom. So if you don't build a strong foundation with the group of your people, you cannot get your whole group to
He's
the top.
absolutely right.
You absolutely. It takes the whole team to start at the bottom and work their way to the top. It's not an individual thing. You can't build a pyramid from the top down.
Well, it's funny how, to make a pyramid, that small little piece at the top is really a big deal.
Absolutely.
But people forget about all the things
steps that it
underneath
took to
make
get
you
up
to
there.
that. There's
Yeah,
only
right.
one top piece.
Absolutely.
But that one top piece is made by every piece below it.
And that top piece should remember all the people below
Yeah.
it.
And it's
Because
held together
that's
by all
what
the-
And you
makes
can take that top
piece.
piece off first.
Yes, that's the first
Or
to go.
or the bottom actually. You start
you
working
take the
the
bottom,
bottom.
the whole
collapses.
thing comes down. Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta
Much
break
like
it.
this lodge, a lot of the pieces at the bottom are falling out.
Yeah, a lot of the foundation is falling out on this lodge, so the top piece is going to fall.
I don't want to be here when that happens.
As I heard, it was structurally sound.
It's making sounds.
Not the good ones. So, events. Looks like we've got the Open Table Lodge.
Open Table Lodge.
The big one.
Boy, last year sucked.
You couldn't even dress up. It sucked.
But this year is going to be better because
Great food.
great food. Bob Holsinger.
You can't beat his meat.
Old City
cannot beat his
Markets,
meat.
Morgansville, Maryland.
It's November 10th, 2014, $35. If you guys are interested in purchasing a ticket, you can PayPal us. We will do will call. It's coming up quick, and we need to sell tickets.
And seriously, if you ever want to go get some meat, Bob Holsinger's meat market, phenomenal. He's a great dude, man. Great,
All Sinners Meat Markets, Morgansville, Maryland.
great guy. Awesome. Love him to death.
Next up is going to be the Sierra unit, the guys in the little red cars, the Shriners.
Little Tin Lizzies.
They are having their annual money drawing. That happens January 17th, 2015 at 5 p.m. at the Valley Mall. This fundraiser is the only fundraiser that we do. This helps put gas in the cars. It helps rebend bumpers that people inadvertently hit downtown at the Mummers Parade. My bad.
Wish I'd have went to that.
I mean, if they weren't too busy taking pictures to put on Facebook, they might see the bumper.
I did not drive in selfie.
Ran right in the back of Homer.
Yeah. I got the dirtiest look from that guy. It was hilarious. $5 a ticket, 5 for 20. Again, it's a good time. Top prize is $1,000. Second is $500. Third prize is $250, and fourth prize is $125. And you got a fifth place. It's $75. But yeah, this is our operating fund for the year. So please get with me. Shoot me an email. Comment on YouTube. Whatever. We need it.
Money, 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 money.
That brings us with another important opportunity.
Nothing free in Freemasonry.
No. It's fee masonry.
I'm not in the business of selling things.
But
I got this nice 32nd degree ring here.
you were the only one that bought it.
It's got my name on it.
We were laughing. Me and Hal were like, "Don't do it, man! Don't do it!" Like, I got my money.
It was funny. I've happened upon a fundraising opportunity for the lodge.
Okay.
Next year during football season, if we can get 10 guys on our side to go to the 8 home games for the Washington Redskins, we have an opportunity to make about $15,000
I'm in.
for 8 days. Like one Monday, one Thursday. We've already got a guaranteed 10-person from 217. So we might, if we get all 40 people at each game, we could bring home $40,000 for the year.
Or, because we have whatever money we have right now, we're fighting over it. Or we could also let the Sierra unit know and see if they want to get involved with that and do it as well. The
That's an
Shriners.
idea.
And keep the cars, and $15,000 would do us for a year of cars.
And it'll help replace some.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll help me.
If so, basically
help
it
me
could
upgrade
be
one in the secret.
it could be a joint, because you keep wrecking them, they're going to be gone. No
Well,
time.
I have some serious engine mods I'm gonna do.
But so basically, if the lodge wants to do it, great. But right now we got a little bit of money we're fighting over, $15,000 more. Whereas this year, we got like $1,000 in the bank account. We're passing the hat for gas.
Well, I'll tell you what, friendship, the ball's in your court. If you guys want to get in on this action, it's literally the entire time. It is a great time down there. We're earning money for our lodge. So there's that kind of kicks the crap out of one spaghetti feed where you make $2,500.
Or topless car washes. You don't want to see me topless.
Love to do a topless car wash. I got a Firm B. It's beautiful.
C.
Yeah. Depends on what bra I'm wearing. God,
It's a manzier.
Elections are coming up.
Elections.
All hell Derby.
Oh, hell derby.
Worshipful Master.
Wrong.
I'm going back to senior deacon.
Not certified.
So you're certifiable.
Well, that goes without saying.
So what happened? Did you not have the opportunity, or did you fail miserably?
I haven't even had the opportunity to meet up with the only person who I'm allowed to meet with, and that would be Fred Reel.
So therefore, never try.
I need an alternate source.
Well, you know what would be good? Watch this. I'm going to tie this whole thing together.
Become a Shriner.
If all 5 lodges were under one building,
We could take turns.
and he was here because this was his home base or whatever lodge we have after whatever name we have, call it Washington, 2000. He would be here. We would have any other problems, and we'd have a line of people.
The dude.
We'd have at least 5 people in line for Worshipful Master. 5 people in line for each
take
office, basically,
turns.
right?
Yeah.
Because basically,
That's true.
each lodge has its own Worshipful Master. So there's 5 people who are eligible to do qualified, and probably at least one person behind them. So you got 10, basically ready to jump in that spot instead of everybody fighting and scrapping in each lodge trying to get one person.
What I think is probably more likely to happen would be the ability to have the 3 separate, because some people always want to meet on their Friday. They don't want to meet on a Monday.
Let's get in. That's great. Thank you, Hauser. Let's get into. We'll get in that here on the secondary topic. I want to finish this up.
All right.
So, what? For
Why don't you try to keep it to 30 minutes?
shut up.
We ain't gonna make 30.
So, yeah, the elections are coming up. We did the second degree tonight.
Yeah.
Hauser,
think
you
I-
rocked the middle chamber lecture.
Thank you.
Awesome. You and your super feces.
But yet you didn't know
Fishes.
you didn't know
Super
where the West was, or the voting box, or anything.
But you did all
I
right.
did a lecture. We're cool.
You rocked it.
Congrats,
Best one I've done since I've been in that chair.
congrats,
so.
kiddies. Clink,
Mr.
Castle.
Castle.
Castle,
That guy.
this
Rice.
guy.
Jason Rice,
And oh,
Josh
what-
Castle, and Mark Klink.
And here's to what's his name.
Yeah,
May
what's his
never
name?
be
Who-
forgotten.
Yeah, he'd never be forgotten.
Also, put it out there. Start thinking about if you want to be anywhere for New Year's Eve, you could be here.
Yes.
There it is. You heard it first. Be here for New Year's Eve. Tickets are $30. Strippers, everything. No,
Floor stripper.
Looking to start.
we're gonna strip the floors.
Clean the floors.
We'll have
It's a
those
work party.
information. We're gonna get some kind of dinner plans.
Yeah.
Go take the kids out, watch the donut drop, and then come back in and rock the New Year.
Well, I think we should. We got the grill down here. I
Are
say
you
with
sure
those
we're gonna even
steaks
see
on.
the donut? If Paddock's there, he's gonna eat it.
Hey, bring it in the rough way. We're gonna bring 2015 in the rough way.
I say we start thinking about getting some steaks together. We got the grill downstairs. We'll
Let's
throw
do
some.
it.
We'll do some things. We'll have a nice meal. We'll bring the families in.
If you're from a different lodge, come in and get familiar with us. If you're from our lodge,
Come and get familiar with
Come in and get familiar with us. I hadn't seen you in a while. What's up? But yeah. So and also prepare yourself for the Alabama game,
yeah,
national championship.
we're gonna start having some parties. Until we move, we're gonna start scheduling parties for rough action. Yeah, let's wear this building out till it falls.
Now, we've got 2 options. We can discuss the dying membership to merge or to die. Or we
I
can
vote to
discuss
die.
the generational gap in masonry. So I'm going to let it be to the floor here.
They're both associated.
I think they can be both associated.
They can be, but
I
we
think
need
it's
something
I think it's
for
the exact
next
same thing.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the exact same thing.
I hate to be the guy to say this, but
But there's a but. When somebody starts out like that, there's going to be a but.
There's
time.
always,
Everything
I don't
he
want-
said before, but is
Disregard it.
here's the one
and
thing.
he's got the biggest butt in here.
Yeah.
The one thing
I'm not
that
going to say you're
this lodge
stupid, but
has to accept and get over is the fact that we have to escape our history of chasing different ideas out of this place and accepting the new and embracing it to make us one better big lodge.
Okay, so say there was just one of us here, the way we are now, and the old heads were there. So Josh came in, and the old heads are here, and Josh started coming up with these ideas. The Ashler, hey, let's have a podcast. How do you think that would have been received just as one person versus...
20 years ago?
No.
Just right now,
Just right
if
now.
it's just you. And none of us
versus,
are around.
Versus all of us in here now backing each other up. How do you think that would have happened? Would it have
Well,
happened?
obviously the majority can block out the minority. If you get more voices together and you can create something strong that can be a force to be reckoned with, if you will, sometimes the people that have the ideas to push it out have to accept that, hey, this is just the way it is. And I think that's what we're coming down to now is we're saying that, this is our time. We're going to take this, we're going to run with this lodge, and we're going to make this what we want it to be. You can be part of something great, or, you know what? You don't have to be part of something at all.
So what you're saying is the main
We're more about accepting instead of excluding.
teaching, the first thing we learn when we become Masons is that we want to receive further light, which means to gain knowledge.
Yes. We are about accepting.
And there are people that are not willing to accept that light, which means they are not open to knowledge, which therefore makes them unmasonic because they are closed-minded.
Well, I'm not going to call them unmasonic, but I'm saying that you have to, if something's going to make your lodge better, no matter what it is, whether you're for it or against it, I think you have to, in all seriousness, accept it, that that's how it has to be.
I have a kind of a funny story. A guy told me this on Saturday night. He said he was at work, and a guy was he was trying to change things up, and said, y'all been doing things not right. Didn't want to say they've been doing it wrong, but trying to be nice about it. And all of them shut him down and said, we've been doing it this way for 30 years. And the guy says, you've been doing it wrong for 30 years? He said their faces just got, he was like, oh. But just that thought process, we've been doing it this way for 30 years. You've been doing it wrong for 30 years? It's time to do it right.
Now, on the flip side, try putting yourself in the shoes of these older guys, seeing these young guys come in with all this piss and vinegar, all these ideas.
I can see their resilience, but for the betterment of the lodge, you're going to have to get over it.
I see their dedication as very admirable. That is something, that sort of dedication and that unwillingness, that's a passion that most people never have.
Well, just
but
like
that passion is misdirected.
Just like professional sports, you have to decide when it's time to stop being a player and when it's time to start being a coach.
Yeah. Well, it's also the same thing is, I always make this assumption, this thought, that I go with the Civil War thought process. The Civil War thought
The South
process,
will rise again.
which is basically, you line up they line up 1,000 abreast. 1,000 people walking shoulder to shoulder, walking straight into gunfire. I know at least one guy in Gettysburg, one guy was walking going, hey man, why don't we just hide behind that tree? One guy said it. I swear to you, one guy
It
did.
changed the way we fight.
One guy said it, and somebody beside him went, oh, hell no. This is the way we've always done it.
Yeah.
And they kept going. Somebody beside him, and they're like, yeah, that's the way we've always done it. My grandfather walked into combat like this. Where is he? Well, he died at 19. But, the thing...
I agree with you. That's where we need to lean on our
Just because we've
you
always
guys
done
have
it like
great
that,
ideas.
don't mean you can't change. Because if you don't, we're going to be still walking into combat, 1,000 people shoulder to shoulder.
Times change.
Something's got to change.
Right.
It's not because we're scared of it. Not because of. It's just new tactics, new
You have
procedures.
to adapt and overcome.
Or you
I hear
just
ya.
let those guys with that thinking get shot and you all right.
All right,
Here's a tree.
There's a tree. Got it. But think about the one guy who's innovative, who may have went and hid behind a tree, took cover, and could have took out an entire group by sitting there. Bam, bam. He could have took out an entire group, but they'd called him a coward.
Right.
Well,
He would have been a coward. He could have basically took out an entire side of people, but he had been labeled a coward his whole life, no matter what he did.
But since history is written by the victors, and everybody else died because they were walking in a straight line,
Yeah.
and he's the only one left alive, who gets to write the book?
Well, I'll tell you this. Me and Derby are sitting in here with about 5 years of Masonic experience. 4 or 5 years.
4, I think.
4. And that tells me a lot about this lodge, where it's going. They need to understand that the new blood is taking over the old blood, and it's going to be what it is. I mean, if they were...
That's like a True Blood reference.
No, you did not watch True Blood, did you?
I did. Loved it.
I miss it.
I love that show.
Suck it.
Okay. I love the show for some reason. I don't know. I started
I
watching
couldn't
it.
get over it, yeah.
It draws you
It
in
was
for no
bullshit
reason.
how they ended it.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
Sorry.
Anyway, we're back.
But anyway, we all know where we have to go.
And then there we went over here.
Right? We all know we have to go with this. You know, we're going to move forward. It's going to be a fight uphill battle, I think, against tradition and certain things.
But I don't know. See, the thing is, my thought process is the only people who will show up for a meeting to vote against us would be if we put it out and they show up that one time in 5 years because they were raising dues or whatever. They'll come in droves. Now, here's my thought. I say every meeting
we put it out there.
we say we're raising the dues and we're moving. Come vote, and they all come. 100 people strong would be in that room, and we don't even talk about it.
We'll
and
do it
then
the next meeting.
and then we table it. Then the next meeting, say we're talking about raising dues, and we're going to move. 100 people show up. We don't talk about it. We table it. We keep doing it every week for a year. See, well, through attrition, they don't want to come here. All they want to do is bitch. So they don't want to come here. If they would come, they'd come on a normal
They'd
night.
be here.
They'd come tonight to see these gentlemen here
Instead,
get their
we had
second
one of the
degree.
lowest turnouts we've had of all year.
If they wanted to come to do more than just bitch, they'd come and bring these gentlemen into the second degree. That's my thought process. Other than that, they've only proven to me, because I live in a world, I'm a retired police officer, I live in a world of proof. They've proven that they don't give a damn except for the bitch.
They're not selfless.
That's my
They're
probable
selfish.
cause to believe that. So, I said it. Come see me.
Second and fourth Monday nights. Festive board. Be here. If you want to take him out, November 10th. $35.
He'll be here.
I bet you won't come.
No, they probably don't even they didn't turn the podcast on. They say our rabbit ears on TV.
Dude, you still get them 13 channels. I mean, they're still there.
I ain't paying for cable.
Make sure
I
we're on
remember
every
the
one
13
of them.
channels.
I grew up with 3.
Yeah, me too.
And 42 was blurry. You know what 42 used to be, right?
I had 6, 8, and 10.
That was a soft core channel, and sometimes we were lucky enough that it's just enough. It would, oh, look. Oh, that's not what I think.
That was also the first channel MTV was on.
We digress.
Anyway,
You know, if the motor
When they
for
played
the aerial
music.
goes out, if you climb up there and turn it by hand, you can get a couple more channels.
Or if the wind blow right, it'd be all right.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap it up here this evening. We're going to give shout-outs. Oh, crap. Shriners, get your application in. If you get it in before, what, November 6th?
Yeah,
Get it in before November 6th. They are
Free.
waiving the initiation fee. So that is free 99, son.
that is free, which means the people who came in, when it was not free, Mr. Hauser, Mr. Nickel, they got screwed. But if you get your money's worth out of it,
Oh, my God, yes.
great experience. Great experience. It's probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. And as being a Mason, being involved in something that their philanthropy is so good. You see,
They give $1 million every day to the hospitals. Every day. Sundays, Saturdays, Thursdays, off Tuesdays.
and it's just it's a great thing. People want to be there. Stuff to do every day. People show up. And how many people we have in the moment? We had 18 cars.
18 cars, and then we had people in buses.
Yeah, we had.
And that's where this comes in. The Sierra unit this year raised enough money to buy a brand new minivan to help get these little kids to the hospital in Philadelphia.
Well, we were part of that. It was actually the classic
Classic
cars,
Car Club.
and we were actually heading it up. But they gave a lot of the money, a great portion of it. There was other money coming into the transportation fund, but we were. I think the Sierra Unit and Classic Car Club was the ones that gave the lion's share, if you will,
Was it
from what I understand.
Roger Douglas?
Roger Douglas.
He had that up.
You know, what a cool dude, man.
He,
What a cool dude. Roger Douglas. Yeah.
He is the glue that holds the paper to the canvas, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
York Right. If you're interested in that, do it. They're dying. Again, that's one of those organizations that
Needs everybody's help.
needs help. There's history that's going to be lost if we don't help preserve it. So, think on that, and we'll be back in about 2 weeks.
Well, next week is the festival board, right? Or next 2 weeks from now?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, this is the second meeting.
Meeting's festival.
So we'll get back to you after the festive board and
Let you know how
after
good or bad
some
it
of us
was.
post bail. And remember, get to us if you want some tickets. Anybody's welcome to come. You can bring
PayPal.
your friend.
PayPal coming up.
Yep. You can PayPal it. Save your email receipt. Show it to us at the door, and you get in. Anybody can go. You don't have to be a Mason. You could be Johnny from down the block. Hauser, you bringing your wife?
Yes.
He's bringing his wife.
Or you could be some of those guys that said just want to bitch. If you show up, I'll take it back.
Yeah. Be a part of your lodge. Be a part of your community. Stand and want something more.
That's all we're saying. Love the place you pay money to.
Yeah. Come back. It's starting to come back.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. So you can prove me
With you or without you?
prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Don't think so, but prove me wrong.
All right. That does it.
I'm out.
Out.
Peace.